You are listening to the And I Quote podcast, brought to you by Coterie Insurance. And I Quote was on a mission to share the importance of building relationships in the insurance industry. Through conversations with insurance agents and industry leaders, Coterie is bringing you episodes focused on relevant and trending topics.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of And I Quote, Coterie's podcast with industry experts and thought leaders just talking about trends in the industry and what's over the horizon. Today, I have Nicole Farley with us. She's the VP of Carrier Operations at Bold Penguin. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you for having me. Really excited to talk about this today.
I'm excited too. So can you just remind everyone what Bold Penguin does, what your expertise is as far as in the insurance technology stack for both agents and carriers?
Yeah, absolutely. So Bold Penguin, I like to say, is your one-stop shop for commercial. We have kind of different tentacles that go into the commercial space, but really we like to operate as, a commercial rater, a place where you can come and buy and sell your leads if you're looking to grow commercial. And for carriers, really a place to broaden your distribution to independent agents and exclusive agents you might not have had access to before.
Yeah, and we love working with you guys and the entire team. So I'm so excited to chat with you today. Really what I want to dive into today, Nicole, is the trends you're seeing for 2025 and how that's going to drive growth for independent agents. So starting with just the current landscape of small commercial, what trends are you currently seeing based on, your perspective where you sit in relationship to, how independent agents are going to grow in that, SMB space?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to say we're out of that hard market and everything's looking good, but I'm still feeling the effects of the hard market of, carriers moving in and out of spaces that they've historically written. And that's causing a lot of turmoil for independent agents. They've had carriers that have written in the same line of business state for 50 years that are pulling out. There's new products on the horizon. Even though cyber's been around for a while, I like to say it's a new product because we still haven't figured out how to sell that yet. And then new things. I saw a product roll out a couple weeks ago that helps when there's a power outage in Texas due to weather. So I think this ever evolving landscape with the environment and with, the way carriers are reacting to it is causing a little bit of turmoil and unknown for independent agents right now.
Yeah. And so you guys do both, remind me, you guys do non-admitted and admitted papers through the Bold Penguin. Are you seeing a trend more towards non-admitted products just because of, carriers pulling out of appetite and the market hardening?
Yeah, absolutely. ENS has become a big part of our platform. If you had asked me 5 years ago, I would be like, ENS, it's nice to have, but it's not, this big thing that's coming aboard. But it's making up a tremendous amount of volume we're seeing on the platform. And not only because of the hard market, but one of the trends we're seeing is products being bifurcated, where in 38 states, it's an admitted product. But then those last, 12, it's not admitted, partly because of, risks that are there. But really the piece that we're seeing is insurance regulators are having a hard time getting rates approved in a timely manner. So we're seeing the delay there cause people to go the non-admitted route because they can't get their rate filings approved.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we're even seeing that with some of our seeded products that we just rolled out, where we're rolling it out as filing approved, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, speed to market is often controlled by how fast our regulators approve filings and the actions they have, which can be unfortunate, but it's just the world we live in, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with all of that, and I mean, we've had a change in the seat of the president, right? And we're hearing about tariffs, which could cause inflation to increase, which might mean that our market hardens even more over the next couple of years. We'll kind of see where that lands. But how do you feel like Bold Penguin is supporting agents? And, what's your plan to make sure that you guys can help agents navigate through all of these trends that we're seeing?
Absolutely. I'd like to think that, with the uncertainty that you may see with, different carriers and markets, Bold Penguin is a place you can come to find, okay, what is truth? Where can I actually place business? And if I don't have an appointment for that today, how can I get one? Who should I be looking at? And really being that advisor, that trusted companion with these agents to help them navigate kind of the changeover and appetite with the carriers that are out there. One of the big benefits of our platform has really been our market access. So for newer independent agents or newer to commercial, which is a trend we're seeing, we help those agents not only get educated on commercial, but get appointments with carriers they may traditionally not have been able to get an appointment with through our market access.
Yeah. Well, and which is awesome because you guys, I mean, we're seeing a ton of growth for you guys. You guys are onboarding new agents every day. And like what can you share, I guess, that's on your tech roadmap for this year that you're really excited about just to help enable agents even more?
The one thing, and when we just met down at a conference, bind is life has been a motto around Bold Penguin. So we're moving to have that bind API live in our platform. And what that means for agents is they can now go to one place, quote and bind without having to bridge over to different agency portals. Makes it a much more uniform process. Speed to market is a lot faster. It just really is going to help tighten up the whole funnel for these agents, both when they're working directly with a customer or even in some of those direct to consumer channels as they look to do some more marketing. That's probably our biggest thing on our roadmap and the one I'm most excited about. Some of the other things are really helping agents cross-sell on accounts. We want to see that average policies per account go from 1 to 2. Right now, we see a lot of monoline. How do we add that cyber? How do we add that GL where comp when needed? How do we cross-sell these accounts more efficiently for agents who may not have the full breadth of knowledge or understand which carriers can do that for them?
Yeah. Well, traditionally carriers have been really pushing the cross sell, internally, but now that, as you said, accounts are becoming more bifurcated.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity to cross sell exists across multiple carriers, not just within the walls of one carrier, which is leading to a very interesting value prop for Bold Penguin, where you guys can fill a hole.
Absolutely.
That's super exciting. So, I mean, I'm interested in the bind because that's something I think at least, for a while, Coterie's kind of been ahead of the curve in the bind technology. How quickly do you think most carriers are going to be able to lean into that, Nicole, and like connect to the bind technology? Because I know we do it well, but that technology will only be really valuable to agents if other carriers lean into.
Yeah. I think you see a trend where now carriers are realizing it's needed. So we have a few others who are coming. I agree. Coterie has been always upfront when it comes to technology and making it super easy to integrate. So excited to get that one up and running. I think we'll have others follow suit pretty quickly. I would say with non-traditional carriers, I'm going to call it, or, ones that are definitely digital focused. Others are looking at it, but I think there's a compliance and regulatory piece that they have to overcome internally to understand that this is the right move. Some people's APIs and technology isn't built in the way where they're getting every question asked up front in that quote process. How do they do that and streamline it? How do they bring in payment and all of that? Those are tricky parts that have to be built. So I think we'll see an initial wave of digitally focused carriers do it. And then we'll have more traditional carriers probably coming up in the rear in the next year.
Yeah. And from that standpoint, Nicole, like even outside the Coterie walls, like bind API is one, right? Where we'll see more carriers jump on. What are some other technologies that you think agents can expect that Bold Penguin's going to lean into in partnership with carriers?
Yeah, I think, bind and payment go hand in hand. Being able to bind and pay right in the portal is huge. I think we're going to start seeing some self-service capabilities. The endorsements come on board, not only in the quoting process, but even post-bind. How do we bring those into the portal to make it easier for agents? And I think on the flip side, and something we touched on earlier, is that cross-sell. How can I return a quote without even having to ask for it? There's a lot of questions that are asked upfront anyway. Can you at least get an indication in there without having to ask 7 additional questions? And we can identify it via data that we have on our side, you have, that says, hey, they said they have employees, let's add on work comp. They said they have a website, we should be adding that cyber endorsement on automatically for these instead of making the agents ask for it.
Absolutely. Well, and that kind of leans into, if you can think back to the last 6 months, are there a couple success stories where you've seen an agent go from almost no technology to, really leveraging technology, especially with Bold Penguin? And what kind of metrics of success and deltas have you seen with their agency operations and their growth?
Absolutely. We have, Texas is always a good example. I feel like we have a couple large agencies in Texas who are very focused. Like I write Texas business, traditional markets. And as they saw this tightening of the market, they realized they need to expand to continue to see the growth. And through the market access program and through our storefront product, which allows them to turn, the application customer facing, they've not only been able to expand how much business they can take in, but also their reach. So now they're writing in Oklahoma, they're writing in Louisiana, they're expanding outside of their normal territory because of these options that they have through Bold Penguin. And when we talk to them and say, okay, what does success look like? It's not only the amount of submissions they can get in, but it's the amount that they're able to turn around on the back end. What is their quote success? How many times are they able to give them a successful answer? And that successful answer could be, I don't have an option, but I'm going to sell you to this thing called the exchange, where they're going to hook you up with an agent who specializes in what you're looking at. So being able to say, customer came to the door, I spent money on acquisition, and I was able to help that customer and receive money on the back end, that has been the true measure of success we've seen through our products.
I love it. I love it. Well, and so, I mean, I met Ben and Ilya at Bold Penguin, when it was just Ben and Ilya. And so they were like one of the, I would say early InsurTech founder groups that inspired me to kind of lean more into InsurTech as I grew in my career. And, at that point, there were 2 employees. And Nicole, I'm just going to ask you, like, how many employees does Bold Penguin have today?
I think we're around 250 now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And how many needs have you like touched? And do you have any estimates?
We're up to over 2,000 independent agents right now on our platform. And then as of, the end of last year, we've actually expanded into exclusive agents as well. So that number is just, doubling every time I look at what we've done. So it's crazy. Shout out to Ben and Ilya, because I've never met two people who can hustle the way they did and really get people to buy into a vision.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember them talking to me about the exchange, the concept of the exchange. And I was just like, that's really cool, but it's going to take a lot of work to get this executed, because you and I know there's a lot of great big ideas in this insurance industry. The ability to execute isn't always there.
Yeah.
And they did a fantastic job. Well, and so I'm going to focus on you a little bit, and so you can share your story. But you actually joined the Bold Penguin family in kind of a non-traditional way. You want to talk a little bit about that, Nicole?
Yeah. So I actually came into Bold Penguin as part of a transaction when they purchased Insurion almost 3 years ago now. So I worked at Insurion for 7 years as part of our carrier and enterprise relationship team. And Bold Penguin decided to make the investment in the technology at Insurion and brought us over, which was crazy at the time to think, leaving a company I was at for so long. But Bold Penguin has really embraced us, and the culture over there is fantastic. So it's been really fun to take what we had at Insurion technology wise, supplement it with what Bold Penguin has, and really grow into this like mega commercial rater technology type space.
And from my perspective, that merger with Insurion joining Bold Penguin, I feel like there were so many positives that came out of that. And, it probably didn't feel smooth from your perspective when you joined, but it felt smooth externally and customer working with Bold Penguin during that transition. And just the intermingling of talent, I think, has put Penguin in a much stronger position, including you, bringing you on board.
I appreciate it. I always joke with our leadership team that they made the purchase for me. Sometimes they're kind and agree with me to make me feel good, but the merging of talent and ideas, there's so many things that was done really well on the terminal side that we're like, hey, we should put this in place now with our customers on the, we call it terminal suite side, and vice versa. So now instead of 2 bifurcated systems, we really have this place to grow and develop ideas together, and then pass it out to all of our customers.
So, Nicole, before we wrap things up, a good portion of our listeners are independent agents. Some of them may or may not be familiar with Bold Penguin. Do you want to talk about how agents can engage with you all, what the best way is to learn more about the solutions that you have and the problems you can solve for agents?
Absolutely. Well, one, thank you all for listening and hearing us talk about insurance nerd stuff, because I know that sometimes that's fun and sometimes it's boring. So I appreciate it. If you want to know more about Bold Penguin, feel free to log onto our website, and there's an info request form. Fill it out. We have a great team who will call and give you all the information you need about Bold Penguin, what we can offer, what we can do. And what's nice, again, we have very flexible options to kind of fit what your need is as an agent.
So I always ramp up with this one question. So if Nicole was an MLB player and you got to pick a walk-up song for when you go up to bat, what would your walk-up song be?
Love that question. I always ask people that question too. It would be Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman. That's my jam. That's my song.
I know what music to play next time we're out for karaoke.
Country girl through and through. So I love me some Shania. That would be my walk-up song.
That's awesome. I love that one. It takes me back to my middle school days, and like the young woman that was growing inside of me at that point.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Nicole, it's so great to have you. Thank you so much for sharing, Bull Penguin's story, what you guys are doing to help enable the industry to move forward and grow, kind of during like a bit of a hard time during our market and our industry. But appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me for a little bit.
Thank you for having me. This was wonderful, and it's always fun to talk kind of where it's going. And Coterie is one of our favorite partners, so it's good to always talk about how we can grow more.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. So thanks everyone that's listening today too. Just a reminder to subscribe to the podcast, share your thoughts and comments. Nicole and I would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the End I Quote podcast, brought to you by Coterie Insurance. Coterie puts insurance agents and brokers first, delivering instant business insurance across the United States. With an innovative quoting platform that delivers accurate pricing and bindable quotes in less than 1 minute, Coterie is making small business insurance effortless. Learn more about Coterie Insurance by visiting our website, located in the show notes.